Hi, I'm Marky.
And I'm Andrew.
And this is the Happy Everly After podcast. Hello. Hi. Thank you for being here. This is the Happy Everly After podcast, and I am on my own again today because life is crazy and it never slows down, and that is okay. Drew and I have just been busy, and our schedules just do not link up during like this time of the year. Like, it is just wild. But also, like, we believe in this podcast so much, so we are here for it. It's just a busy time of year right now. So welcome if this is your first time. My name is Marky, and normally I have my co-host with me, my sweet husband Andrew, but he is not here right now, so I feel like I am just talking into the universe, and it's weird because normally I have him to banter with. So basically, we talked about a big life change that we went through on last week's podcast, and it was a really short and sweet episode. I recommend going and listening to it so you kind of know why we up and moved across the country to North Carolina. So we are originally from Utah. We were not going to leave for the summer this summer, but Drew was asked to help a team here in North Carolina. He does summer sales for a living, so he's the bug spray guy. And I need adventure, and I need a change of scenery, and I needed to get out of the Utah snow. And so I was like, okay, let's just do it. And things fell right into place. And here we are a couple weeks later in an apartment complex, and it's not a permanent move. We're just here for a short time, and we're going to be traveling to and from different locations that Drew has leadership or ownership in when it comes to bug spray. It is a very glamorous life. So life is good. It's been really fun to get to know a new city. I don't know what I was expecting, y'all, but like, for some reason, when I thought North Carolina, I pictured beachy and southern. That's kind of not what I'm getting from the city that we are in. So we aren't in a big city like Charlotte or Raleigh. We are in Greensboro, and it is great. It's just, I would compare it, it's just a city. Like, it's just a normal city. I don't know. I don't know why I was expecting. I packed like my fringe stuff. Like, I was thinking southern. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy. I have never been here before, so again, I don't know what gave me that impression. But the people are so nice, and it's beautiful so far, and the sunshine is out, and that is all that matters to me. Me and the boys are just trying really hard to fill up our schedule, fill up our days with things to keep us all busy and keep all of our needs met. Right now, they are getting their screen time in while I record this. And then after that, we're going to go to the gym, and me and Urban have some homeschooling to do. So that's actually the topic I was going to touch base on today. I didn't know where to start when we were like presented with this opportunity. And in the last couple years, Drew will leave a couple months early and do his thing, and we'll be apart for a long time. And it's actually really terrible. It's like really hard on all of us. It got really, really hard on Urban. Urban almost like took it personal that his dad was leaving every year, and as he got older and understood more, he also couldn't understand why Drew was leaving. And that just like broke our hearts, and we all want to be together, obviously. And so this year we decided we weren't going to do that anymore. I was going to look into homeschooling Urban. Van is in a junior preschool back in Utah, and so I have like this stuff to teach him too, but him I'm not like as worried about. He'll get there. We'll get there with him. But with Urban, he has been in an early intervention program for years and years, since he was 2. We have a prior episode on that. I definitely recommend going and listening to that episode if you have a child that's like a dragon baby, is what I call them. They just like breathe fire, and they're different from the regular busy child. All the things that's a different episode that, again, we've already talked about. So go listen to that episode a couple episodes back. And we talk about getting Urban help with some of his special needs that he needed help with. And so point of the story is Urban just graduated out of all of those programs, which is so great. And he's doing so great. But then it's like literally a month later, I'm like, he's getting all this extra help. And then I'm like, okay, bye. I'm going to take over and homeschool him. And when I think of homeschooling, like that always really intimidated me, because I was like, no way. Like, I'm not a teacher. I can't teach my kid academics. No. And not only that, but like me and him butt heads a lot too. We're very stubborn and very similar. We make jokes that he looks just like dad, but he got all of his personality from mom. And it's like that combination is like, whoa, we better be careful with that kid. Because he's just a little firecracker, just like me, I guess. Everything I'm saying about him, I'm like, yeah, that's me too. But again, because of that, we kind of butt heads. And so I'm like, I cannot homeschool him. Like, there's no way. But again, like we got this opportunity, and I kind of felt like excited about it and interested in it. So I started asking around. It's funny because his school district back at home, like they couldn't really give me any answers. They're not in the homeschooling business. They're in the public schooling business. So like I literally had to like outsource. I like asked some influencers online. I'm like, that I know homeschool. And I'm like, where do I even start? What do I even do? Like, do they have I'm picturing like a officer, like a probation officer that keeps track of my kid. Like where are you, and let's test you, and are you keeping up? And apparently no, there's none of that. Basically all I had to do was sign a paper that I had to get notarized. So it's official, and it's in Urban's public school file, basically stating that from this date forward until I notify them otherwise, me, his guardian, is taking ownership of his education. I didn't know it was that easy. It actually was very, very simple once I learned that it was literally just a paper. And it was kind of like empowering too, because I'm like, he's my freaking kid. Like, I don't know, like, I think that we kind of go with the education system because it's all we know. So like, duh, like, yeah, it's first grade, it's second grade, it's, you follow that structure. But what you don't realize is that you can do whatever structure you want. And as long as, I don't know. Okay, let's talk about something else for a minute. So sidestep. So there is a woman that goes to my church in Utah, and she homeschools her kids, and they're they're the cutest kids. Like, they're so nice, so polite. And I'm like, okay, like, they're well-rounded. I see them playing with other kids all the time. Like, obviously they're getting their social bucket filled, right? Like, hopefully. I reached out to this lady who is in my neighborhood, and she goes to my church. And basically I'm like, do you mind if I just pick your brain about the homeschooling system? And she was amazing, like, so helpful. And she's like, I will talk your ear off every single day. She's like, because most people just think I'm crazy, and it's rare that people like seek me out and ask me about how I homeschool my kids. And so she was so helpful, and she basically just told me, like, the reason why parents get overwhelmed with homeschooling their kids is because they think they have to mimic the public school setting. She's like, literally, there are so many programs, so many options, so many like government grants. There's so many different, like, if you want your kid to be more like musical based, then there's musical based homeschooling programs. If you want the program to be more spiritually based, there's those. Mathematically, more reading focused. There is literally a niche for every single program that you and your child could use. And I didn't know that. I thought it was just like, I'm going to homeschool my kid, give me the booklet, and like tell me what to do. And so basically I did research. I was also told about this store. It's called The Good and the Beautiful, and there's a storefront in Utah. Thank goodness I could like go and like look at it for myself. But we decided to go with that. And basically it's just like we started at first grade, so Urban will be, repeating. Urban will be repeating first grade essentially over the next couple months while I'm homeschooling him. And I'm going to do the program during the summer too. I think that it's just good for him. And we'll be traveling a lot, so like if he misses a week because we'll be visiting family in Georgia, like, obviously that's different, and I can make those rules. I can make that structure. I can do what's best for my child. And so right now, me and Urban, we do at least 4 times a week of these booklets, and one of them is math, and it comes with a little box with like a clock on it and like a whiteboard, and it just like comes with every single thing you need. Little wooden like shapes and stuff. And then we have like a language arts book that's more like reading, spelling focused. And so we do a lesson out of each of those each day. And it normally takes about a half hour. And after that half hour, we have the rest of the day to go to the gym, go ride our bikes, get some sunshine. Another thing that we just got out here, so we're still finding all the things, but another option is going to the library and going to the Children's Museum, the Dinosaur Museum, going to all the things. I mean, do we want to go swimming today? Cool, let's go. Do we want to go to a park? Sure, let's go. It's very, and he gets his social aspect, I feel like, from the gym, because every time we go to this gym that we've been going to, there's a lot of kids in there and they love it and they don't hate going to the gym, and that's really important to me. If Urban like hated being there, then like that would tell me that I need to like do something else to fill up his social bucket. And so point of the story is, I am not an expert. I am just taking it one day at a time, but I'm so proud of myself for like taking this leap and not letting it stop us from like being together as a family, because that was a big deal for me. Like, I'm like, I cannot homeschool him. Like, I cannot do it. I do not have the mental capacity. And let me tell you, it's not easy. Like, it may be a half hour a day, but dang, like some days are so hard, and it's me and him are just so frustrated, and we need to walk away and take a break and then come back and finish the lesson. And so it's not like it's so easy that he's not getting anything out of it and he's not being pushed, but it's flexible, and that is what is so beautiful about it. So that is all for today. Thank you for being patient with us. I know this is so janky, and it's just kind of funny. Drew and I both were like, okay, we need to like make it a priority, put it on the schedule. I need to find like some sort of like babysitter or a part-time nanny that can like give me a couple hours a week to work essentially and to do stuff like this. And so that is all coming. It is just getting there is the hard part, right? Joy in the journey. So thank you so much for listening, and thank you for being along for the ride, and we hope you guys have such a great weekend and week. Bye.